Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So happy Friday. It's looking good right off the start. Bitcoin bulls are definitely back. However, Solana is leading the altcoin charge. So let's talk about these things and what to expect today. And let's have a good old Q&A. Wait, is today Thursday? No, today is Friday. Yeah, I thought it was Thursday. No, it's happy Friday. All right, let's get started. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out the day right around 115,000. That's pretty good. We finally broke out of that pesky 112 figure. We kept trending down to 111, and we were there for quite a long time, couple weeks. Now we're back above. You can clearly see the trend is moving upwards. 115, that's a terrific place, and we got a lot more to go. However, the story, the highlight right now has to be Solana was pushed above a couple of resistances, and now it's sitting at 240. Getting very close to its 2021 high, and bringing above that, it'll be at 2025 high. Earlier this year, it hit close to $300. It's definitely on its way there. So we got some good winners. Good winners today. Let's see. Well, the U.S. market is opening up kind of mixed. Of course, yesterday was a really good day. Another record-breaking day. Stocks are heading higher, and that's because we did get some numbers that was favorable for cutting. Let's just put it that way, right? Jobless claims went up, which is no good. Inflation did go up, but didn't go up by that much, so no one cares. Most people care about the jobs, and jobs are going down. So right now, basically, it looks like there's no chance of a 50 basis point cut. In fact, 105 out of 170 economists says we will get a 25 basis point cut. So that's pretty much baked in. However, the good thing is we're going to get another cut in October, another cut in December. So we're going to get that 0.75% or 75 basis point cut by the end of this year. Okay, that's a lock, basically, unless you somehow see jobs come back by the millions within the last few months because it was just revised down 911,000. Unless you see something like that happen, or inflation tick upwards from our 2.9% to like 5% or something, these are going to be locked in. But it's unfortunate we're not getting that 50 basis point cut. But, between next week and October 29th, we'll get more numbers. And if the numbers show some really, really, really bad things, then, of course, this percentage, the 6.4% that you see, will start rising. So we'll see what happens. Gemini, a major crypto exchange, going to IPO at $28 a share, valuing itself at 3.3 billion with a B. So good for them. They definitely come a long way since the Facebook days, which I know they would like to forget. Again, it shows you the appetite for crypto right now. Okay, they were too oversubscribed. They actually raised their IPO price because just too many people want it. Wall Street appetite for crypto-related companies, sky high right now. And you could tell from the ETF numbers yesterday, BlackRock had another huge 366 million day. Overall inflow, 553 million. That's a single day. Plus, the day before, you're talking about over a billion, 1.3 billion. So Wall Street's appetite is enormous right now for crypto. For ETH, we had a pretty good day, 113 million. However, strangely enough, we had a outflow of 17 million from BlackRock. Why is that? Why is that? I actually have an explanation. I think I have an explanation. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I'll get to it in a little bit. It has something to do with Solana. That's what I'm guessing. It still had a good day, 113 million inflow, but 17 million outflow from BlackRock on a day like yesterday, kind of weird. Kind of weird. Anyways, moving forward, you have one of the biggest Bitcoin treasury companies in the world, the biggest in UK by far, Smarter Web. You know what? They're doing something creative. They want to buy others so that they can utilize the proceeds and buy more Bitcoin. Weird. Weird, but I guess they can figure it out. But basically, it's their way of expanding and acquiring more Bitcoin at the same time. They roughly hold about 2,500, worth 275 million. It's not bad, a quarter of a billion, and they want to keep on going, like so many other companies at this point in time, right? Also, this is a very, very important metric. A lot of people always complain when Bitcoin goes down, despite all the buying. They're like, why? Why does it happen? Because they do it through OTC market. And then some people ask as a follow-up question, well, if they keep doing that, what's preventing them from doing that forever? Well, this is showing the OTC desk balance, how many Bitcoins are actually left in the OTC market. And we have consistently been falling more and more, especially 2024, 2025. You could see we have now dropped to the same level as 2017. And why do you think this has been happening? Well, obviously, the introduction of ETFs had a lot to do with that. Also, the crazy buying from Sailor and Metaplanet and now others have certainly contributed in an immense way, I should say. So, yeah, bottom line is the OTC desk may still be out there. It may never dry up to zero, and there may be times it comes up a little bit. But overall, there's only so many Bitcoin. Everything, OTC desk, spot market, everything that exists is coming out of that 21 million that would ever exist, right? So as long as you have accumulation, doesn't matter where, it's going to affect the bottom line, the price of Bitcoin in some way, in some time, right? So OTC desk is dropping like a rock right now. So one day you're going to have ETF looking for 500 million Bitcoin and they don't exist on the OTC market. Then what's going to happen? I've said that ever since ETF started ramping up. If they can't buy via OTC, do they start buying spot? And if they start buying billions per week via spot, what do you think that's going to happen with the price? That's going to come sooner than later. I'm not even talking about like 5 years out, 10 years out. The way the ETFs and the companies are buying, OTC market will be dried within a year or two. Real dry. And also, let's not forget the miners. Miners periodically does sell. A lot of signs did indicate that during our peak at like 120s, 124, miners were selling, but they seem to have stopped now. However, even if they were selling, they didn't stop mining. Hash rate and difficulty both at all-time high right now. And this is important. Not so much to the price, but it is important to the security of the network. And as the difficulty and hash rate goes up, it makes it more impossible for someone to disrupt the network or to try to take it down or to hack it. This is why governments around the world have basically stopped trying. They don't even talk about it. No one out there tries to shut down Bitcoin. They may still say, hey, it's illegal to hold it. They may tax it, which is what they're all trying to do. But no one's trying to shut down because of the network. All right. Now, as for some charts, Bitcoin obviously found a footing, kind of trying to break above to where it was before. And, you know, we got a few months left of this year that could be absolutely fantastic for Bitcoin and crypto. Yesterday, today, a couple of charts from a couple of people that show that we have flipped back up. We have formed a golden cross. In this case, I think that's stochastic or RSI is now flipping up. And the last few times we were this oversold. Yeah, we are oversold. Bitcoin has made some tremendous moves to the upside afterwards, right? We still have the remainder of this month, and next week we have that rate cut. Then we have October. Then we have a very good November. November historically is like the best month. And then we round it out with December with the Santa rally. That could definitely carry us very, very high. Very high. And of course, it's not just about Bitcoin. Altcoin season is starting, and now you're seeing some big moves into Solana. That's why it just hit 240 just a few minutes ago. And it could be the reason why we're starting to see weakness with Ethereum's ETF. Mike Novogratz, he's an OG. He's made some mistakes in the past, but overall he's an OG in this space. Loves Bitcoin, holds a ton. Galaxy Digital holds a ton of Bitcoin. But now he wants to hold a ton of Solana, right? Kind of like Tom Lee's BitMine. He wants to do the same. In fact, recently we covered about this new company that is acquiring $1.6 billion worth of Sol. Galaxy Digital is behind that. So he definitely wants to see Sol break into a new high, right? And here's the other thing too. Besides this new company acquiring Sol, I just saw on X that Galaxy Digital itself is buying a massive amount of Sol. So according to Look On Chain, they just bought 706,000 Sol, 160 million. In the past 24 hours alone, they bought 486 million. So you may be wondering why Sol is so strong right now, why it keeps on going up. Well, look no further than one company that's buying a ton of it right now. $500 million within the last day. It's going to have an effect. And there's many others that are going to be joining in soon. And let's not forget the Sol ETF that's coming out. Not only Sol, XRP, Hedera possibly. I saw Dogecoin. There could be one for Sui, Avalanche. A lot of institutional money is going to be floating in, all right, into the space. This guy is estimating that now that Sol's breaking out, the next top is 1,300. And, you know, I don't disagree. It doesn't mean that it's just going to go to 1,300 tomorrow. But within the next few months, as altcoin season kicks in more and more and more, there's no reason to think that it can't. It got to 300 before, so that's only 4x for Solana. And if you look at the market cap, it needs to do a 4x just to catch up to Ethereum anyways. So as silly as it sounds, and I called it last year and earlier this year, I said, you know, Sol at least hits 1,000. I think it goes a lot more than that. So 1,300 as an estimate, I don't think that's far off. I think somewhere between there, 1,000 to 1,500. And now you're starting to hear about meme treasuries. I didn't know this until now. So there's this company called Safety Shot. They created a Bonk Holdings LLC. And the whole purpose is just to acquire more Bonk. And Bonk is the biggest meme on Solana, in case you're wondering. They already have 2.5% in circulating supply. They have 229 billion tokens. And they plan on deploying Bonk and Solana's DeFi for staking, liquidity, yield farming to generate yield. That's smart. I had no idea you had companies that are now acquiring meme coins for their treasury, but this will definitely help Solana as well, right? That's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's see. Today, profit taking day? Maybe. Profit taking day. Coinbase MicroStrategy is still up. Robinhood is slightly down. Nvidia is slightly up. Could be a profit taking day. Yesterday was tremendous. Sol, you could see, is still sitting pretty damn pretty at 238. Bitcoin still slightly under 115. All right, let's do some Q&A. Super Psycho Steve OB says, I put a couple hundred in Doge and now it's up 300%. I should have gone all in. Oh, well. You know, that's always a thing. Okay, hindsight is never wrong. But at the moment, you got to weigh in the risks, right? Risk and reward. Do you risk putting everything into something? For some people, yeah. For others, they don't. And it doesn't always work out. Doesn't mean that it's always going to work out. Lovebug says, it feels like this cycle won't be over until 2027. We'll see after December. I think there's a really good chance that we keep on going. There'll probably be some profit taking in January regardless. I mean, for stocks, right? Look at the stocks. They don't have a 4-year cycle, but they do have seasonal movements. Like there are certain months, certain quarters that are quite weak. If Bitcoin and crypto still follows, let's say the NASDAQ, after December, you could see some selling off, right? I don't expect Bitcoin to go up infinitely forever. Can we see 10, 15, 20, maybe even go worse, 30% corrections? Sure. Sure, we can see that. But do I see Bitcoin go down 80% in a 2-year crypto winter like previous cycles? This time around, I think it's more like a 50-50 chance it won't. Just all the institutions and all the ETFs, unless they're all dumping, every single one starts dumping all of their holdings. I just don't see it. There's so much supply being held by these big boys. Just Saylor and BlackRock, if you add them together, they're like 7 or 8% of the overall supply, right? Just those two companies. Carpo, does ETH still have problems with high gas fees like it did last fall? Yeah, that's not going to go away. They'll never go away. They've been trying to solve scaling for years, and it's not going to be solved for another few years. So it's not going to go away. What was your favorite Lego set to build? I don't know. They're all sort of enjoyable if you have the time and patience. Like these days, I don't have it in me to build anything. I started a set and then I didn't finish it. It's still sitting there. But I don't really have a favorite one. I just like seeing the end result. And I like putting in my room and I like to display them. Do you think we're going to all-time high before FOMC meeting? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get to all-time high. Like Bitcoin going back to 124 before FOMC meeting. We possibly can. If this weekend we shoot up some more and Monday and Tuesday are great days, which I think they will be, then yeah, we may have a chance. Would I pay someone to build them? No. No. That would be too lazy. And some of the enjoyment is still building them. You think we have a dip correction when the Fed pivots? Usually does. Yeah. It would not surprise me. I said in my last night video, it would not surprise me that after the press conference on Wednesday, things dip and could dip for a couple days. Usually it happens with the FOMC meeting because at this point people have already priced in the cut, right? So it's not going to be a surprise. The only thing that will be a surprise is if Powell says something unexpectedly during the Q&A, which probably he won't. But if he says something hawkish or something, it could mean that there's some profit taking. So from Wednesday afternoon to Thursday and possibly Friday, you could see all red days. And then next week we start going up. That is I think there's a very high probability of that. I haven't I haven't really thought much of WorldCoin. There's more discussions about WorldCoin these days because of Sam Altman and OpenAI, but really I haven't heard anything else about it. So you would figure it would be like skyrocketing because of how popular OpenAI is, but it seems like it's just a side project for him. I mean, it is still, to be fair, it's still worth 3.3 billion right now. I don't hear anyone talk about it. Jay, fees are not high because there's very little usage. Wait until altcoin season. Wait until there are a lot of people using Ethereum, and then the high fees and the congestion will come back. It's that simple. ETH can't handle more than 1.8 million transactions per day. That's the max, even during peak. But when you're at those peaks, sometimes it costs you hundreds or thousands to make a transaction. Trust me, I know. I bought some NFTs back in 2021, really hot NFTs. I paid like $3,000 as a transaction fee for each mint. That happens on Ethereum when it's very, very congested. But right now it's not. That means there's very little activity versus the peak times. Bottom of the first inning, Winklevoss sees Bitcoin reaching 1 million in 10 years. 10 years. That's not too far off. As long as AI doesn't like take everyone's jobs in 10 years, or it could, regardless, you want to make that bank before AI replaces most jobs out there. 10 years, man. 10 years, AI will have progressed so much. At least at the very bare minimum, 10% of jobs will be gone in 10 years. 1% per year. That's very low estimate. More likely in 10 years, it's like 20 to 30% of jobs will be gone. But very, very conservatively, 10%. But can you imagine unemployment permanently being at 10, 15, 20%? Society will not handle that well. We're already at 4%, right? So you add 10% on top of that. In 10 years, 2035, imagine if it's a 14%, 15% unemployment rate. That's permanent. That's just, you can't, there's no jobs. Not like people are lazy, you just can't find them. That would be bad. Universal income, universal healthcare will be pushing on those who can't afford living. Yeah, I just don't know how they work. Other countries do have at least universal healthcare. I don't know anything about universal income. I'm guessing China has it. But where's the money coming from? Vatican is asking, how can you make money with AI? You can make it with so many ways. It's not going to do it for you, but it will tell you how to do it. It will plan for you. It will be a coach, but you still have to make the first step. You still have to do it. Doesn't matter. Just ask. It will tell you. It will tell you exactly what to do. I'm sure there are many out there that are making a lot of money with AI. But again, it can't do it for you. In some cases it can, because now you have agents, and those agents are like basically helper hands that are doing it. Still trending upwards right now. By the way, yesterday when I was playing my game Clash Royale on my other channel, it was like 50 something people that actually came in. It's actually a pretty high day. It started out very slow. Anyways, those of you guys that enjoy that, I'm gonna have a big tournament tonight. I tried to schedule one right now, and I realized you can't put a time, so I scheduled it, and it's just like it says next hour. So I'm not gonna be playing that one. But tonight at 8 p.m., I'm going to be doing a massive tournament again, and anyone could join. I'm gonna make it so that like 200 people could join. It's gonna be a mega draft, and I'll tweet it out. I'll post it on YouTube, and it'll be fun. 2-3 hours. So I know my kids are looking forward to it. So just FYI for those of you guys that want to participate. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be on my I Am George channel. $240, $115.3. Things are flipping around, it seems like. Coinbase is still green. Nvidia is green today. Robinhood's not. Taking a breather. Bitcoin dominance still low. Hasn't gone down anymore, though. We kind of bottomed out at this 57%, 58%. Quentin asks, how much real money have you spent to get over 10K trophies? I actually don't know, but I think it's a lot. At least, like, I don't know. If I had to guess, because I'm very impatient, and if I wanted to try a new player out, I would, like, buy a whole bunch of, you know, like, whatever's needed to upgrade them. I don't know. Probably at least $400 or $500, I would say. You don't have to spend that much. A lot of people with a lot of skills could do it, especially if you've been playing a game for a long time. Some people have been playing 8-9 years. Then you're fine. But if you're starting out and you want to level really quickly, that's how you do it. Red Axe, how do you manage to be bold and hold strong through all this? Because it's not my first cycle, man. This is my third cycle. This is technically my fourth, but the first one I won't count because I got scared out. I came in at the peak of 2013 when Bitcoin was at 1,000, and I started Litecoin mining. And I saw Litecoin go from a few dollars all the way to $40 And then in 2014, everything came down and I got out of it. So that's technically my first cycle, but I didn't live through all of 2014, 2015, 2016. I came back in 2017 when Bitcoin hit 1,000 again, and I started my journey by purchasing 3 Bitcoins for $3,000. And you know how I had that $3,000? Because I was dead broke. Tons of credit card bills, you know, had a mortgage to pay, family to feed, and 2 cars and everything. I was hustling. I've always been hustling, but prior to that, I was selling cars. I decided that because I like cars and I like to negotiate. So I went on Craigslist at the time and just reached out to like thousands and thousands of people trying to buy cars at dirt low prices, below Kelley Blue Book prices, basically at Black Book prices, and I resold them. You know, there would be like, you know, buy a car for like $1,000 and sell it for sometimes $1,700 or $2,000, or buy a $2,000 car, sell it for $3,000. I did that for maybe like 3-4 months, and I made 10 grand by doing it. And then I used 7 grand for like bills and stuff, and I had 3 grand left in 2017. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a shot and put it back into Bitcoin. And that's how I really really like got involved. So you can make money. The whole point of the story is you can make money if you wanted to. You could do it right now. You could spend hours on Facebook Marketplace and negotiate with people and buy cars and flip them to make thousands of dollars. You could do that. Some of you guys may have heard you could do that with couches or used furniture. If you just put some elbow grease into it and rehab them or fix them up, you could resell it. There's money to be made. It's just most people are just too lazy. They don't want to do it. But without money, you can't invest. If I didn't have that $3,000 to put in Bitcoin, I would not have that three Bitcoin, right? Like, you got to have money to invest. So you gotta, if you don't have money, you just gotta hustle to do it. You can get a side job. You don't have to do stuff like yourself. You could get a side job. You could work somewhere else, take on more hours, whatever. There's stuff to do. And now with AI, it will tell you to do a lot of stuff that you could do online without ever leaving the house. Drone NBF. I'm selling my car now before moving overseas. Have a used car dealership hit me up. Used cars are rare now. These dealerships, they're loading up. I heard Carvana is loading up on all these used cars and then buying them at ridiculous prices because they're hot commodities. The new cars all have tariffs on them, so they're gonna get super expensive. So they're trying to buy up all the used cars they can right now. And a lot of dealerships, I was talking to GM from one because I have a relationship with some of these, and they're telling me the same thing. Auction prices are going nuts right now. Ooh, look at that. Still going. 115.5. Sold at 241. Next stop should be around 260 right here, 264. That was the previous high. We broke through it a little bit back in January, but 265 is the next stop. What's your stance on core versus knots debate? I have no idea what you're talking about. Zero clue about what you're talking about. Seems like they caught Kirk Shooter. Hopefully it's the right person this time. I need to go back to my IT job before AI takes it. Have a good one. You know what? Let's do something fun here. Let me see if I can bring it up. I'm not gonna log into my ChatGPT, but this is the free version. What are the best ways to make some side money utilizing ChatGPT? Freelance services. Content writing, copywriting, proofreading, transcribing, translation. Okay, that's number one. Create and sell digital products, ebooks, guides, cheat sheets, Notion template, budget trackers, habit journals. This could very easily, some of you guys may be thinking like, oh, who's going to be like needing these services, right? You'll be surprised how many small businesses out there that are not doing this or doing this poorly. And if you come in and offer to do this for very cheaply and actually help them save some money, they will pay for that. Tutoring. I don't know about tutoring, but I could see how that could be a thing, but I don't know about tutoring. Prompt engineering. Sell custom GDP prompts, build automated workflows. Automated workflows, I think a lot of people would pay for that. Again, it depends on who the client is. Start a micro niche blog or newsletter, that could definitely make a lot of money. A lot of things that you see on X, quite honestly, come on, it's AI written, right? No one has time to write like 10 pages of like tweets. So you could definitely do that. Social media, content creation. Yes, I'm doing this already. There are people that do this when they clip my channel or my live streams. Definitely do that, and people are getting paid to do that too. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. Again, you just got to put the time and effort into it. What are the hottest things to flip on Facebook Marketplace? What are the hottest items to flip on Facebook Marketplace? Top items to flip in 2025. Furniture. I see a lot of people making content on that. Not only can you flip it, you can make content around it and get a lot of views. I see a lot of people buy like a old dresser or something, and then they strip it down, put a new layer of varnish or color, or paint it or something like that. You could definitely make money doing that. Electronics and gadgets. This is harder because electronic and gadgets usually aren't worth that much, but if you're good at haggling, or you go to garage sales and buy a whole bunch and they don't know what the value is, especially like older things. You could get like old games, old consoles, old, like something that's almost vintage, you can make a lot of money doing that. Power tools for sure. Like I had a snowblower, I had no idea how to fix. It was basically brand new, but it wouldn't start. So I just put it on a curb and said, hey, anyone that wants to get it can take it. Anyone, that could have been an easy like few $100 for someone. If they knew how to fix it, they could resell that for like $200-300, no problem. So power tools and stuff, very, very easy to make money. Especially the ones that are broken and people just don't have the time to fix it, or they don't want to fix it, they just leave it out. You can get those for free. That for sure. Fitness, exercise equipment, I don't know about that. But there are a lot of people that give out stuff, like their treadmills or bikes. They're like, whatever, I don't use it anymore. It's just taking up space, take it. You could get a lot of those for free. Home decor and small furnishings. If you're a designer, I'm sure a lot of those things could be good. I think it'd be a harder time to like try to sell like mirrors and lamps, but I'm sure if you bought it cheap enough, you could do it. Seasonal outdoor stuff, yeah, like grills, hot tubs. People give out hot tubs for free. Hot tubs are expensive, 5 to 10 grand. And some people are just giving them away. They're really good condition ones too. They just don't use it. They don't want the space. So you and a couple buddies with a truck, you could take a hot tub for free and basically sell it. But yeah, same thing with grills. I see people give out their grills all the time. Appliances like dryers and washers. This was back in my old house. I bought a new washer and dryer set. So I put the old one out. I was gonna throw them away, and I just said, like $100 each. You would not believe how many people responded to that ad because they just want to flip them. I'm sure, but I didn't care because I just wanted them out of the house. There was like 20 people that instantly responded to my ad when I said washer dryer, $100. There are so many things that can be done to make extra money. And, and a lot of people, well, I don't care if I'm making $100, $200. Think about it. $100 a day is $3,000 a month. And if you times that by 12, that's $36,000 a year. That's extra money on top of what you're making now. Can you make $100 a day? Possibly, if you spend enough time. If not, $50 a day, that's still extra $18,000 a year that you could be putting into Bitcoin or Sol. See, this is what I'm saying. You could utilize ChatGPT. It broke this down, and you could ask it specifically on every single category and what to do within each category. And this is the free version. Like anyone could go in here and use it. There's nothing stopping you. I didn't even have to log in for it to work. But most people still don't use it. Yeah, with the washer and dryer, I know it was worth more. I know for sure it was worth more. But again, this was at my old house at the time. I just want to get rid of them because they're just sitting in the garage, taking up space. But a lot of those guys, one time I had just like a garage sale where I just wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff. And I could tell a couple people that came, they were just flippers. Like they're not the usual people that you see at a garage sale. And people are doing it all the time, making really good money. I always like arbitrage, flipping stuff. When I was in my younger days, in my high school, 20s, even in my 30s, but 20s more specifically, I was doing a lot of it to make extra money. I was one of the first ones on eBay. Like when it first came out, like no one had any clue of what's going on. They had very little safeguards. Anything was being sold. I remember the first time someone was selling a kidney, a human kidney on eBay. And I was going for like millions, 7, 8 million or something. And then the FBI shut it down and then they went to arrest them or something. It was wild back in the day. See, David says, I go to garage sales every Saturday and buy items to resell. I make about $15,000 a year. That's good money. I really, every time I pass by a garage sale, I do want to go, but I feel like I feel like it'll be kind of like weird looking if I show up in one of my nice cars, like trying to haggle on things. So I don't do it, but I really do want to do it. It's just like, I don't even really care about making that much money. I just think it's fun. It's something to do. I like haggling. That's why when I buy cars, I just love to haggle with the salesperson. I like to buy things that are good deals, regardless if I need it or not, usually. That's usually how it works. Renato, didn't you just ask me about FET the other day? It was doing very well until they did all these reverse mergers and stuff. So they merged with like 3 other companies, 4 other companies. So it lost a lot of momentum after that. They're very heavily into AI. That Sophia the robot. The projects from the guys who created the Sophia robot, they are doing a lot of stuff. But ever since the reverse mergers happened, I don't know about reverse mergers, just mergers, let's say. And then they changed their name around and all this stuff. Kind of lost a lot of momentum. But it does seem like they have like a marketplace. They're in robotics. They have their own GPU farm. They are in a lot of stuff. So it does make sense that they should be carried with the AI boom, but right now, not a whole lot of traction. They peaked in January. GD says, I'm terrible at haggling. I hire a haggler. You got to think about it, because what you haggle is your profit. Because most people sell at what the normal value is, I guess, right? So if you're buying something that could be resold at $10, they're selling at $10. So you got to get it at $8 or $5. Otherwise, you have no margins. So you have to, if you want to be in the flipping game, you have to have a thick skin and be able to negotiate. I mean, you don't want to go crazy. If something's worth $10, you don't say, I'll give you $1 for it or 50 cents for it. Then you just get in fights. But they understand. They just want it. You just got to know what they want, right? And mostly what they want is to just get rid of it. That's the type of people you want to deal with. You don't want to deal with people that are actually trying to make money. You want to deal with people that you know that just want to get rid of it. Then you could haggle a lot more. Yeah, tonight, Hernanov. Tonight's gonna be a big tournament. I'm gonna have a tournament. I'm gonna tweet out a link, post it on YouTube and Facebook. Do a tournament tonight. I actually accidentally started one, so don't join that one that's ongoing right now. But tonight, 8 p.m. 8,500, congrats. I had a horrible night yesterday. I lost like 10 games on stream yesterday. It was not good. Now I'm back to 12 something. I was at 13,000. I got to hit that next level, 13,500. After 12,000, it's 1,500 to go up to the next arena. Kind of sucks. Drop shipping, yes. I used to drop ship a lot too. Yeah, I'll share a story in my 20s. I'm not going to name this company, but I'll say that there's this major computer company that was the biggest at the time. And every Thursday, they would update their prices. Okay, I don't know why Thursday, but they did it on Thursday. So every Thursday, they would come up with new deals, new prices, and stuff like that. Whoever's in charge of it has the worst quality control because I guess they're all doing it overnight and they make mistakes. Every Thursday, I would spend an hour digging through every single item they had, every single sale, including configurations. And every single Thursday, I found a huge price mistake. Like a laptop that should be $1,500 being sold for $1,200 or $1,100. Or a monitor that's supposed to be $400 somehow through some kind of configuration is now being sold for $200. I did that for over a year. Every single Thursday, I would find a price mistake. On top of that, I had found this discount code for employees that knocked off another 10% on top of that. And I was buying stuff like crazy every week. So much so I had to rent out space from this computer shop. I would either sell to him or to people on eBay. And I made hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing that. Until one day, they finally figured it out. On Thursdays, they stopped making mistakes. It took them over a year to realize that their incompetency have made them lose a crazy amount of money. Yeah, so that happened in my 20s. Yeah, and I did get banned too. But they figured it out. I probably helped them figure it out. There were probably a lot more people than me doing it. Or just buying, and they're just losing probably a lot of money. All right, that's it for story time. Tonight, make sure you go on my I Am George channel, join the tournament. I'm going to put out a link an hour beforehand. Because you can't schedule a tournament in Clash Royale, which is stupid. You should be able to set a start time, and you can't. So it's going to be 8 p.m. tonight. Those of you guys that have nothing to do, or you like to play the game, it's going to be on my I Am George channel. Outside of that, today is pretty darn good. Solana's above 240. Bitcoin's above 115. Things are looking very good leading into the weekend and next week. Possibly good too, leading up to the FOMC meeting. All right. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Take care. I can't link the tournament right now because I can't schedule it. So you'll have to follow me on X or I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to just make a YouTube post 1 hour beforehand. So make sure you guys stay on top of it. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.